Hey everyone, thanks for hanging with me. I know there are an awful lot of videos to watch during the first week, and I certainly hope that they are beneficial. In this video, I'm just going to talk to you a bit more about your first short essay assignment, and I also want to run through the seminar paper assignment. Remember that for this week, all you have to do with the seminar paper assignment is to start to think about some possibilities, some things that you might want to work on. Let's start with the short essay assignment though. As you know, you will have these for each of the first 5 weeks. The instructions on these are incredibly simple. For this first one, I'm asking you to explore a counterculture, introduce readers to its ontologies, its ways of being in the world. So, students often really enjoy this one. I actually taught this course in person during the spring term 2015 and then in the summer session of 2015 online. And so I have tested it out a bit. Usually we are all part of certain countercultures, and we know a bit about the ways that folks who count themselves as part of that counterculture operate in the world. And so that's all this essay is asking you to do, is to talk through a bit of one that you happen to be familiar with or even belong to, and what you know about its ways of being in the world. This will help us to begin to explore the concept of culture sort of beyond racial, ethnic, geographic lines. And so that's why I ask you to do it during the first week. Try to have fun with it. Maybe you are a big time yogi and you go to the pub yoga classes here in town. That would count as a counterculture. Maybe you are part of a counterculture that wears really interesting pairs of socks. It really doesn't matter what it is. It's more in how you argue for its legitimacy as a counterculture by virtue of how you're explaining it to the rest of us. So try to sort of think expansively. The other thing is you're going to notice that in the excerpt from the reading on communication and the globalization of culture, Nick Sheikh Mohammed, the author of that book, is going to be talking to you about how he defines a counterculture. So if you want to have like a rigorous definition, I would definitely point you toward that reading. But again, try to have a good time with it. Try to think about it in maybe even really out there terms, what kinds of countercultures you might count yourself as part of, and then think about legitimizing that counterculture by talking through the kinds of things that folks who count themselves as part of it might have in common. That said, get in touch if you have questions. I'm really looking forward to reading those. The other thing that you want to take a look at this week, again, is your seminar paper assignment. Even though this is not going to be due until the 23rd of June, by the end of week 2, May 28th by midnight, I am going to ask you to post a topic. The first 2 weeks are chock full of readings and screenings, so that hopefully the experience of reading through and thinking through these things is generative and you have some ideas for topic. And then you're going to gather sources and post a list of those sources to the discussion board by June 4th. And then you'll have until the 23rd to do the paper. So let's take a look. So it's going to be 12 to 15 pages. Do compose in Microsoft Word so that you can see the paper as it's meant to look. So 1-inch margins, 12-point type, and Times New Roman. Again, you should feel very welcome to use APA as well as MLA. I'm looking in this assignment to offer each of you the opportunity to engage meaningfully and productively with the diverse ideas inherent in intercultural literacies, plural, as we teach them in WRTC. I'm inviting you to offer up papers on topics that use or engage with the things we've read, but these papers should be also driven heavily by your own interests. On a practical level, the course is very short. Therefore, I assign the seminar paper at the outset so that you can start to think about an issue or topic that you would like to explore in a longer piece. Ideally, I'm interested in seeing your increasingly rich understanding of our course topic and your progressively sophisticated handle of the concepts, terms, and lines of inquiry through which practitioners engage with the varied objects of their study when they are working within intercultural literacies framings. However, I also recognize that you'll need to make a rather abrupt decision on a paper topic in order to have enough time to generate and revise a draft. So I'm asking you to browse through the syllabus, take note of the issues and topics that we're going to cover by the end. Is there something that interests you, intrigues you, seems to relate to what you're up to in life? Some aspect of intercultural literacies you'd rather read and write about more than others. Is there a short essay you'd consider expanding on? So even though you won't write, for example, short essay 5 until week 5, if the prompt is enough to get the juices flowing, you might think about using that to start to think about seminar paper topic. I'm going to be looking for evidence of your original theorizing. I'm going to be interested in your work beyond applications to an existing theory toward a new contribution, and I would like to see evidence of your critical and creative thought. The topic is up to you. So do take advantage of this. I know that for some of you, you are not WRTC graduate students, and so you can think about how you might be able to spin the seminar paper so that it could be a publishable piece for you in your discipline. And in terms of the WRTC students, you might think about your increasing awareness of publication and presentation opportunities within WRTC and try to conceptualize your seminar paper as pitched towards a particular place. I posted for you some past seminar paper titles so you could get an idea of how folks have customized the seminar paper topics to fit their interests and also fit the course theme. So we had, for example, Mirror Touch Synesthesia as a Culture, the rise of mainstream television shows with Hispanic-led casts, Jihadi Cool, the rhetorical vernacular of the Islamic State. That one actually was published. Rhetorical practices in the homebrew community. So that was one that grew out of, this is a great example. This particular piece grew out of the short essay 1, where the student was starting to think through what countercultures he belonged to. We've got tutor training to address cultural differences through translingual negotiation strategies in the Writing Center. So this was written by a Writing Center tutor. Cross-cultural communication and comedy. Spoke to the student's individual interest in comedy. Here is a great one for all of our Doctor of Nursing Practice students. This was Patra Reed's topic. Maybe you know her. I think she was among the first cohorts to go through your program, and she was a fantastic student in this course in 2015. So she was able to customize the topic, assuring patient safety through enhanced medical interpreting for persons with limited English proficiency. So that's an example of really customizing it for what she was up to in her own major. This student wanted to look at an Irish play from an intercultural perspective. We had a student that wanted to look at the Southern Poverty Law Center. This was a business student, graduate student, looking at effective leadership in cross-cultural situations. So that sort of classic intercultural communication stuff. This student wanted to explore more of personality differences as constituting cultures. So like Myers-Briggs stuff, very interesting. And not just for boys anymore, discovering the emerging culture of girls with autism spectrum disorder. So this student wanted to think about all of the text circulating that sort of posit autism as a masculine kind of thing. And she wanted to think about how young girls in particular are grappling with their identities and forming their own kind of girlhood with autism sort of culture. Really interesting work. And then we had the 2011 Egyptian Uprising, a social media revolution, and citizen journalism. So many different topics. So I tell you that I offer these examples so that you can get a sense of the range of topics that are at your disposal. Really looking forward to the topics you come up with. Remember that you have until the end of week 2, but that certainly doesn't mean you can't throw out your idea earlier and get feedback from me sooner. If your topic feels a bit far afield, I might try to nudge you a little closer to intercultural literacies. But as you can already tell probably, the course topic is so expansive that I have a lot of faith that all of you are going to be able to find your way in to a worthwhile seminar paper topic for which you can generate 12 to 15 pages that you're really proud of, where you're displaying your intellect, where you're showing me your capacity for creative critical thought. So those are the 2 things that you want to pay attention to. Again, you've got your short essay. That is going to be due by the end of week 1. And then you also have the seminar paper that you simply want to read through and start to get your ideas together. So May 21st by midnight, I will look for your Explore a Countercultural Culture, Introduce Readers to its Ontologies, its Ways of Being in the World. And on the 28th, the very end of week 2, so let's just take a peek down here to week 2, I am going to be looking for your seminar paper topic to be posted to the discussion board. Again, you don't have to wait until the 28th if you have your idea sooner. Thanks so much. Be in touch with any questions or concerns, and I really look forward to seeing both what you come up with for your first short essay and what you decide on for your seminar paper topic. Thanks.